I'm high school. This is my senior impact project. The name of my project was Feeding Families of Charlotte. Project description. I delivered food to two families located in the Beatties Ford area of Charlotte. Through the help of friends, families, and mentors, I was able to collect non-perishable food items such as rice, canned vegetables, canned beans, and pasta. This project was also this. Ooh, sorry. This project was located at First Baptist Church West, which is located on Oaklawn Avenue. Impact. I served two families. One, the Diaz family had 11 kids total, while the Reyes family had 2 kids total. This project had a personal connection to me because I once attended this after school, First Baptist Church West, from first grade to eighth grade. So being able to help people or an organization that once helped me felt very meaningful to me. And as you guys see, those are some of the pictures of the bags from what I collected. Going forward, during college next year, I look to continue my community and service activities and engage with the city of Atlanta because there are many impoverished communities that need help with community and service. Thank you guys for listening. This is my senior impact project.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am YBLA Senior Ambassador Chavis Langhorn, and this is Higher Thinking with Chavis.
Welcome to Higher Thinking with Chavis. This series is designed to get your
Since
thoughts
the video is a
flowing
little bit
about your
quiet,
future.
I'll say it for
You
you.
may have questions
We're gonna
about
act like this is a
what to
video.
do after high school.
Welcome
What
to
career
Higher
field
Thinking
you
with
wanna go
Chavis.
into.
I am your
Guess what?
host.
I have those answers for you.
Welcome to Higher Thinking with Chavis. This series is designed to get your thoughts flowing about your future. You may be wondering what it is you want to do after high school. And guess what? I'm here to have and solve those problems for you. The purpose of my project is to provide insight to the middle and high schoolers at my school, Invest Collegiate Transform. In my project, it's important to me because when I was in middle school, I didn't really know what exactly I wanted to do after high school. So I wanted to help the students do something that I didn't really have the opportunity to do. So what I did was I did 4 main steps in my project. The first step was I sent out a Google form that I gave out to all the middle and high schoolers at my school. In that form, there were several questions asking them about what career fields they want to go into. Once I dissected all of that information, I went in and I gathered the 4 major career fields. And then once I did that, I contacted 4 people, 4 Black successful people in those career fields. After that, I contacted them, I sat down with them and recorded an interview with them. In that interview, I asked some of the questions that the students had and also questions that I thought were beneficial as well. Once I did that, it was the hard part, the editing, something I'm not the best at, but I sat down and I got it done. Once they were all edited, I sent them all out to the students at my school. For my impact, I impacted my students in 2 major ways. The first way was I gave them motivation. Many of the students that knew where they wanted to do after high school, they weren't really motivated. But after hearing words from those 4 successful Black people and hearing how their career journeys took them in different ways, they felt motivated to do what they needed to do. In the second way, I also gave them confidence through the videos. For the students that didn't know what exactly they wanted to do, they got confidence in knowing that it's okay not knowing what to do because life is going to take you down many different paths. And luckily, they now feel confident stepping into that field. All right. And then for the final impact, I also impacted my 2 guests as well. One guest, we had a light bulb moment where they realized they were impacting people for a very long time that they didn't even notice. And another guest connected me with a potential future guest as well. And last and most certainly not least, I also decided to open an Instagram page where students not inside of my school can see it all across the world. Or you can follow it at HT_with Chavis. Thank you for your time.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Senior Ambassador Trinity Patterson, and I have the pleasure of welcoming you to my Senior Impact Project, I Am was an event I hosted at my school, and the purpose of this event was to create a safe space for young girls to be their true and authentic selves. My run of show went as followed. In the beginning, we had a guest speaker by the name of Miss Frenchie Brown. Miss Frenchie gave tips and advice to the girls, and she also performed one of my favorite poems by Maya Angelou, Phenomenal Woman. Next, the girls were split into 4 different groups and went to different stations. The first station was the flower station. During this time, the girls planted their own personal flowers, and the flowers stood as new beginnings in their lives. I also had them to repeat after me and say things like, I am beautiful. I will give myself time to grow. The next station was the Girl Talk station, hosted by Elmani Thomas. During this time, the girls ate food, and they just discussed different girl topics. The next station that I hosted was the poster station. During this time, the girls created inspirational posters, which they either took home or hung up on the walls in our school. And lastly was the hair station, ran by Tori Jarrett. During this time, Tori answered any questions the girls may have had and demonstrated new ways the girls could style their hair. Throughout this entire process, YBLA has asked us, how can you make a greater impact with your project? My sister goes to a charter school called Charlotte Lab. And my goal was to bring some of the girls from Charlotte Lab to my event as a field trip. Now you can see how this may have been difficult because my event took place during the school day. But through tireless nights and lots of emailing, I was able to combine 20 girls from Charlotte Lab with 75 girls from my school, impacting 95 girls in total. Now I would like to direct your attention to the screen so you can see how Girl Power works. So during this time, I had one of the girls that's a junior. She just had them to repeat after her and say things while they were planting their flowers. And this is the event. Thank you. To this day, I have the girls thanking me and telling me how much they enjoy the event while the guys are asking me when it's their turn to get free pizza. But I am thankful that I had the opportunity to create a safe space for these young girls. Thank you.
Okay, well, hello everyone. I am Zora Brantley. I'm a senior from Christ Chapel Academy in Woodbridge, Virginia, and this is my impact project. The name of my impact project is Help Goes Both Ways. All right, so essentially in my impact project, there were 3 core foundations. First, I had to find 10 high school students at my current school and that are dedicated to service. And so essentially, as the president of my school's missions club, I had 10 students that were willing to go serve at a local nursing home. And what we did there was create a fun mentorship environment for the citizens there. Lastly, the whole foundation of this project was to allow for both crowds, both generations, to gain flowing conversations of wisdom between them. Parents, as you know, you give wisdom to us, but we can also provide wisdom to you as well. All right, so the lessons learned that both me and the students, okay, it's not inside, but the lessons learned that me and the students both learned is first, an enriched soul for empathy. As we take time to dedicate our time at the nursing home, there was a patient that suffered with amnesia. And the student, which was a freshman, she took her patience and her time to work well with the patient in order to just help him flow in conversations that would help him later in life, but also would help her later in life, little did she know. Second was a passion for serving. The students did not know how great of an impact that it would have at first. And for me, as I'm looking forward to being a doctor in the future, this was a great experience to have hands-on connections with the patients. And lastly, I learned that I had improved levels of leadership. At first, I'm very introverted, but in going out and making networking and connections throughout various nursing homes to find the perfect one for this project, I persevered, and I found the nursing home, which is called Potomac Place. And here's some key numbers for you all. There were 15 patients served. There were 16 care packages made. In each of those care packages, there were basic necessities needed for the patients, including magazines, basic health necessities, and also hand-personalized letters from each of the students. And we also gave one to the head of the director for our appreciation for her and letting us come into her nursing home. And lastly, there were infinite words of wisdom shared between both generations. Luckily for us, and we're so grateful that the head director of the Potomac Place provided us with an email. She said the citizens greatly appreciated the warm welcome and excitement that the students could provide for them. The residents repeatedly said, "Dune." We are so thankful to be able to serve them. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I am Kira Blake, Senior Ambassador, and my Senior Impact Project was Envelopes of Encouragement. Envelopes of Encouragement was my way of showcasing my natural artistic ability that I haven't really shown people with my love of service. People have often been really appreciative of my card making that I use as a gift-giving thing throughout the year. When we were assigned this Senior Impact Project, it was March, so it was Women's History Month, so what better time than to make an impact on a group of women in my community. So I landed on that idea of using my hand-drawn art, turning it into digital art, and ultimately sending it to the facility, Wake Women's Center in Raleigh, North Carolina. Wake Women's Center supports women who are overcoming homelessness, human trafficking, sexual assault, trauma, and other many issues of women of many different ages. After being connected with the volunteer coordinator, Ms. Jerry Carter, she told me that I would be in contact with about 28 to 35 women who visit the facility regularly. So I made about 6 different designs, and each design and message catered towards the different issues that the women were going through. After making all my designs digital, I was able to send them over to Ms. Jerry Carter so that they could be used as a digital ongoing product and can be printed as she pleased at the center. And on the side there is just one of the drawings that I drew for one of the women, and so that they could easily be printed out. And so what I learned going through this and executing my project was that acts of service don't always necessarily have to be large, and that small things can have an impact in somebody's life just as much as big things. I also learned the true power of art and simple words of encouragement and how much it can have an impact in someone's life. Giving back also can be incorporated through your passions and talents, and you don't always have to go out of your way doing something that you don't enjoy. But I found something that I love doing, art, and was able to make an impact in my unique way. And finally, how important it is, especially in today's world, to become aware of people's situations, and I grew so much empathy for the women that I impacted. Thank you for your time. That was my Senior Impact Project.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kendall Stewart, Senior Ambassador with YBLA, and I'm here to present you Kenny's Community Closet. Okay, Kenny's Community Closet was something that I decided to do to give back to an organization that gave to me. The organization that I decided to work with was Lydia's Loft. Lydia's Loft is an organization that helps families who are in need of clothing under the ministry of First Baptist Church in Huntersville. I was able to accumulate clothing items from family, community, and other people in my neighborhood. I collected over 200 plus items. I was able to serve 500 plus people and families with being able to serve for 3 hours at Lydia's Loft. I was able to organize clothing, sort out clothing for the new summer season, as well as interact with the families who were there to shop. and my mission was to give back to those who gave to me. My impact. So in 2022, me and my mother my family were struggling financially. So it was during prom season, and it was really a struggle trying to get a prom dress. So a family friend recommended that we go to Lydia's Loft, Lydia's Prom Closet, which is also an attachment to Lydia's Loft, who donates prom dresses to girls who are in need of prom dresses. So I was able to go and get a few prom dresses, but by the grace of God, with help of others in my community, I was able to get a dress that I really wanted. And though I did not wear the dresses that I was given by Lydia's Loft, I'm still appreciative and still hold those dresses to this day. So being able to give back to those who gave to me was really important. So that's a picture of Lydia's Loft there. And then an inside look. So the picture to your left are clothes that people donated to me. The picture in the middle is a picture of a scripture that was inside of Lydia's Loft that was very sentimental to me. And then a picture of me with a few other clothing items that I collected, and that's my impact project. Thank you.
All right. Nina Daja, otherwise known as good evening, everyone. I am Zion Norman, and I'll be presenting my senior impact project. I named it School Reunion mainly because this is the old school I went to before I went off to high school. So I splitted my project into 2 days. One is just to tutor a third grade class to get people to speak Mandarin, the language Mandarin, a little bit better. And then 2 was a field day to just help assist people with just drinks and snacks for the whole elementary school community. The day 1 probably impacted me the most because I got to work with not only other people, but black students as well, because I know for people who speak an Asian language, it kind of puts black people in an objectified way. So it made me feel better about teaching other people how to speak the language that are African American. Another thing is that I gave teachers a helping hand. It's kind of hard to the teachers to help other people, especially in such a large community. So I'll give a shout out to most of the teachers. And then I also help supply drinks for the kids and other people. And one thing I can't say enough is that when you help schools, it's not just 1, 2, 3, or 4 people. You help hundreds of people, and you meet a bunch of more kids, and it just feels great to help other kids that are younger than you succeed in, just in different languages in general, since I went to a language school. That was my senior impact project. Thank you.
Hi, I am Ariana Williams, and my impact project was Project Teens, which is an acronym that stands for Teens Effectively Experiencing New Strategies. I did this project in collaboration with Iredell County's Teen Court and Catawba County's Youth Remediation Program. So for my project, I did a youth vision workshop, and this workshop was open to all youth, but it was geared specifically towards at-risk youth. The kids that were from these programs that we collaborated with are in court diversion programs, so this was like their second chance to avoid ending up in the system. And so for the project we explored how personality, strengths, gifts, your passions tie together to paint a picture of kind of who you are and how we could use that to shape a vision for your future and build a path forward. And also we wanted to learn, because these kids were on their second chance, we wanted to be able to show them that your mistakes don't define you. And so we also had a testimonial for someone who had kind of been in their shoes and is now an entrepreneur with 2 of their own businesses. So that was something that we really, okay, sorry. a couple of lessons learned, for one, was that it's never too late to do the right thing. Because again, these kids are learning to chart a new path and are trying to come back from their mistakes. Another thing I learned is to try again. And this was a lesson for me. In my original session, I hosted online and in person, and I didn't have the attendance that I wanted. And so with some encouragement from my parents, I held another one the day before the project was due and got triple my attendance from the last session. Thank you. And then the last thing is patience is a virtue, which from all accounts, from everyone, it's working with something this big, working with a lot of people, it requires a lot of patience. And for the last thing I wanted to say, I just wanted to share this quote. This kid, Aiden Torres, he had a basketball scholarship that he lost when he ended up in this program. And after this, he said, "I'm not sure if I really still have a chance, but I'll try." And it's not elegant, but it hit me personally that it made a difference, and that he realizes there's still a future for him. And so that was something that I was really appreciative, and it made this project really important to me. And so that was my project, and thank you.
Hi, I'm Haviland Smith, and for my senior impact project, I did A to Z STEM. So for my project, I'm a very proud nerd. I have loved everything science and math for as long as I can remember. And as a future engineer, I decided that I was going to research numerous STEM careers from A to Z. And with each career, I would create infographics so that they were interesting but also extremely informative about STEM careers, because STEM is something people can tend to turn away from. And I posted them to an Instagram account that I created. So I created kind of a collection of all of them. And I influenced 13 people who were able to see the infographics I posted. I was able to inform others because some of the careers I picked had been voted on by some of the people. I put out like a form earlier on so I could get some ideas. And I also was able to introduce myself to some careers, because some of the careers I didn't even know existed. So I was really excited to learn about the careers. Here I have an example of one, and obviously we're going to start with the letter A. So for each of them, I started off with something like a hobby or something like that. So started off with art for architecture, and then I gave career descriptions. And because education is a big part of YBLA, of course I had to include a section about education, and with that, I included colleges that had these programs. And with these colleges, I tried to make sure it was a wide variety. So HBCUs, PWIs, public, private schools, so all different schools for all different people, and also related fields, because the field that might be here may not be what you're interested in, but it might be something close. So giving the wiggle room to also shows how wide of a variety careers really are. And architecture was special because architecture is a very, very broad field. So I was able to create kind of a second page to look at some of the branches of architecture that aren't really heard of, because landscape architecture and conservation architecture are some things that I have been interested in at a point, so I want to share that with others. So the lessons I learned from this project was, one, the service can be whatever I wanted it to be. Lining up service closely to what my future career was really made it more exciting for me to do. And then responsibility. With this project, I had to really try to stick to a timetable because it ended up being a huge undertaking, but having the plan was nice, but didn't really always follow the plan because life happens. So making sure that I still did it and got through it was a big thing. And failure, because I'm a perfectionist, so learning how to get through the failures to eventually reach the end goal was something that was really good for me, because I'm not as much of a perfectionist anymore, so I'll take it. All right, that's my project. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I am Kylie Dominic, a senior ambassador at the Life School, which is located in Atlanta, Georgia. My senior impact project is a series of workshops dedicated to our school's curriculum and coursework, which focuses on what to do after your high school. One of the key designs of my high school, which makes it so special, is that we are a project-based learning school. So every project, whether it's related to science, English, or anything, there's always a project included, which is considered as our final. I wanted to leave you guys with this question and think about it in a different way. Instead of what do you want to be when you grow up, when you're starting off when a little kid, think about it this way. What do you want to do every day, and have you achieved it? Thank you. My plan was to serve my life school community and a few family friends that have found the lack of motivation to find their aspirations and their purpose in life. I decided to do both ways, virtual and in person. While most of my sessions were virtual and I recorded them, I did have the opportunity to share one of my workshops in person. My why was in response to passion projects, which is fairly new to our freshman students. They necessarily didn't have the guidance that I had when I was in 9th grade, and I wanted to encourage them and to tell them that you guys have this, here's a resource, I'm always a resource. And so through this, they came to me, and I'm now a resource and writing recommendations for them. My influence was on that day when I presented, I served about 20 people. What I've learned is that my leadership style, there are various leadership styles, which are visionary, pace-setting, democratic, authoritative. And one of my weaknesses is that I am a democratic leader. A democratic leader is somebody who allows the space for others to share, but then their weakness is always getting lost in those comments and thinking about them and improving on their thoughts and methods to leading them. I did realize I had too much interaction with them. As a pace setter, you want to make small goals with your audience. And so I realized for that crowd, it was a bit too much, and it was also the end of the day when I presented. So that was a key factor. One of my teachers, Mrs. B, as we call her, she left me with a quote. I love on how you adapted your leadership style to your audience and picked up your own tendencies. This resonates with me because I have done so much in my community and in my school that sometimes it's hard for me to just step back and see where I need to adapt and where I need to learn. Up next, I will be introducing Elmani Thomas. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am Elmani Thomas. I am a senior ambassador with YBLA, and I am here to introduce to you guys my impact project, Invest Financially. So, coming from a low-income family, I have learned about money a lot when it came to struggles with the rent, gas bills, those sorts. But my mother quickly knew that I was going to be the finance person in the group when she asked me, what am I going to do with my tooth fairy money? And I quickly told her, I'm going to save it for college. So she quickly knew I was going to grow up to be something like a banker, finance manager, some sort. So with my impact project, I decided to teach high school and middle school students how to manage their money in a healthy manner. Coming from a low-income family, I've learned that you have to budget wisely when it comes to car payments, insurance, house payments, all of those sorts. You have to budget it wisely. So at the age of 16, I quickly got a job the day after my birthday, which I worked at Taco Bell. It was a great job, but yeah. So working at Taco Bell, I quickly learned that with my money, I have to sort it in different ways. And I saw that in schools, I didn't see that they had finance classes, to teach them about the real life of finances growing up. You have to pay for school, pay for cars, pay to those sorts. So I implemented those into high schools and middle. I think that you should start learning early in middle school so that when you go to high school, you can already start, benefiting when you turn 16 to 18. So I taught a high school class at my high school, Harper Middle College High School, where I taught them about how to budget, credit, car payments, how to get a car, what not to use when you have a credit card. Do not use your whole utilization budget because that is not what you do. I've learned that very quickly. So I taught them those sorts. And then I also worked with Mr. Harold Lowe, who is one of the board members as well as a fellow ambassador in the future, in the past as well. And he introduced me to his workbook, which was Strike Gold University, where he is teaching people the basics of finance, which is, goal setting, long, short-term goals, how to just implement that into your everyday lives. My impact. So going to high school, I went to Mallard Creek High School, which was my old high school, as well as my high school, and impacted 50 high schoolers, as well as middle schoolers, because you are never too young to learn about money. So I went to my past middle school, where I taught them how to save money in a healthy manner as well. I know they can't really get a job as young, but I know that you can find like babysitting jobs, mowing, those sorts. And lastly, I helped 10 high school students open a bank account, which I think was a great impact. Lastly, I want to leave you with this quote. With the knowledge I know now, I will be able to share this with my friends and family, the importance of learning about finances early on, by a girl I met at my last middle school, Annalise Hen. But that was my impact project, and I will continue to implement this every year. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I am Mirabelle Gbeli, and I am about to present, oh yes, here we go. And I am presenting my senior impact project, which I have affectionately called A Day of Diversity. And just a little bit about the project, I got about 10 to 15 personal testimonies from some of my peers here at YBLA and also from my peers from school, and a little bit of some older people that I know in my life. And I put all those testimonies into a presentation, and I was able to present to a wide variety of people. And yes, and I'm just going to be telling you more about that. So why I chose this is I am not originally from the USA. I was born and raised in Ghana. I moved to the US when I was 6 years old, and I just love learning about different cultures. It excites me to learn about different people, different cultures, different types of just places to go and to visit. And I just love learning about that, and I love sharing that with other people. So that is why I chose this project. I also love children. That's why I want to become a pediatrician in the future. I am taking the steps to do that. And I think there is so much that we can teach children, And this was just one of the things that I was able to teach them. So my impact is I was able to impact about 6 different classes of kindergartners to kindergartners to 5th graders. And I was also able to educate about 22 of my own peers in my class. And I was also able to impact about over 60 members of my local church. And I was able to do this, and I'm going to show you the pictures. Right here we have me and my sister in our traditional Ghanaian attire. And this is just us presenting our culture, sharing a bit of our food. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about impacting my peers. And I did that by making a presentation. I would say this was the hardest part for me because I am not very technologically advanced. I'm not very good at that type of stuff. So that was probably the hardest part, making a presentation that I was able to share with my peers. And in doing this, I was able to just get them a little bit more of interaction, create like a safe environment for people to talk about their different cultures. And I was really surprised by the amount of people who actually spoke up, because teenagers sometimes they don't want to say anything in front of a classroom. So I was really impressed by the amount of people who actually spoke up during my presentation, and the amount of people who came back to me afterwards saying, wow, like you really did a great job presenting that. And I was just really happy that it was able to get through to them and they were able to understand different cultures and understand how to talk about different cultures without making a fool of yourself. And over here, we just have some different pictures of just us presenting my culture and other people getting to present their cultures and us being able to talk and laugh about our similarities and differences. So thank you for listening to my passion project. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Joshua Brown, and I just want to tell you a little bit about me. So one thing I have is a passion for criminal law, as that is what I want to do for my career. And another thing is that I like to play basketball, as it helped me through difficult times. So with that, I combined the two together and created my senior impact project, Rise and Hoop, Empowering Futures Basketball Clinic. So this was a one-day basketball clinic for at-risk youth ages 9 through 11. And with this basketball clinic, there are drills that help the children develop fundamental skills in basketball. And it was actually mentored by two professional trainers who has helped other players get to the professional level, even also get to college. With it, there's a motivational speaker who taught the kids about being respectful and honest. And then we finished it off with a small little scrimmage, which, I mean, not to brag, but they had to carry my teammate who happened to be my brother. But the overall goal of the basketball clinic was to empower the kids to not only be better choices within their community and the school, but also to find an outlet in basketball, which I have done before. So there's a graph on the screen that shows from ages 6 to 15, this is called a pre-racer age group, which when it comes to legal system means that they will not be tried as an adult. But within that age group, more than 1 in 10 children was a juvenile delinquent in 2021, which is disheartening. We see that this percentage even increases once they get out of this age group where they actually will be tried as an adult within the court system. So my overall goal was also to help alleviate that amount. So some key takeaways is that kids need guidance early on in life, and it's our job to make sure we have that. So I challenge everyone here today to at least positively impact one youth, because it can go a very long way. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I am Senior Ambassador Jaden Webb, and for my Senior Impact Project, I knew I wanted to do something along the lines of healthcare, hence the Hope Totes Project ensued, ensuring access to hygiene, care, and inspiration. So for my project description, I partnered with Samaritan's Feet, which is a local organization here in Charlotte that basically has a mission to provide shoes, healthcare items, as well as hope to young children internationally and locally. So what's included in these Hope Totes are an hygiene kit with shampoo, conditioner, combs, toothbrushes, daily necessities, a Hope Note, which basically had on it either a Bible verse or an inspiring message, a mask, sanitary wipes, and at-home elderly care package, which just let people know what to do in case of a fall, because a lot of the people they serve live alone. And so I invested a total of 16 hours in my project. So the impact that it made on me, I was able to assemble 400 Hope Totes, serving 400 individuals for distribution with Samaritan's Feet. Thank you. So these Hope Totes will go with Samaritan's Feet on their international missions trip. One, I learned a greater appreciation for everyday hygiene items. So it's easy to take for granted, waking up in the morning, brushing your teeth, taking a shower. These items are, for many people, considered luxury. So definitely I learned a greater appreciation for the items that I have. In addition, this was also a full circle moment because assembling at home is kind of behind the scenes, but I got to go on an international mission trip with Samaritan's Feet, which allowed me to see the kind of firsthand experience of the distribution process, as well as getting to see how the families reacted to the gifts that we were able to bless them with. And then lastly, this project was personal to me because it addressed an issue that I care about, dentistry. I hope to alleviate this issue by starting my own dental clinic and serving all demographics with quality oral health care, regardless of socioeconomic status. And then lastly, I have a video showing the distribution, or excuse me, assembly process. So this was me picking up the supplies from the warehouse. Which I took home and got to work. These are some of the items that were inside of the Hope Totes. Those are the hygiene kits. This is me assembling in my TV room upstairs. And then once you finish, this is what the boxes should look like. Make the video pause, but thank you. This is my Senior Impact Project.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Mackenzie Rudd, a Senior Ambassador out of Atlanta, Georgia, and today I will be presenting to you my Senior Impact Project titled Rainbow's Treasure Day. So on March 30th, Thursday, after school, I hosted a self-care day for Rainbow Elementary's Girl Scouts troop. Why Rainbow? I actually attended Rainbow Elementary when I was younger, and my mom teaches there. So before I started this project, I said, what would the younger me want? So I wanted to be the person I would want as I was a kindergarten or first grade. So that's who I decided to serve this time. There were 3 stations. A part of the day, it was pampering, mental health, and physical health. So pampering, they made their own lip scrubs. For mental health, they did a confidence build and did affirmations. And for physical health, I taught them some dance moves so they can get their body moving. And another part of this project is I wanted to give my peers an opportunity to volunteer. A lot of my peers are not in YBLA, especially since it's in Atlanta, and they don't have many opportunities to volunteer. So I want to teach them that they can make their own experience and own project to help their community just as I did. The impact, I served 19 girls ranging from kindergarten to 5th grade. I put on an Amazon registry link, well, it wasn't registry, but a link for people to buy different items off of. Totes, which was personalized by the art teacher at Rainbow Elementary with their name. They had lip gloss, the lip scrub they made, personal mirrors, a pen, and a journal. And we taught them during the mental health, it's important to put their feelings down on paper every day so they can reflect upon what feelings they're feeling. So we did that through the journal that was provided from family members and community people that it was bought up in less than 24 hours. I was so grateful. And I had 6 of my peers volunteer to help bring my vision to life. So I thank them, and there we go. This is a video. Hopefully it has the sound. Okay, it doesn't. So the sound for this video is a 5th grader that was there, Kanaya, and she was just talking about what she learned in her experience. They can't articulate themselves that much, but they did appreciate the day that we were able to give them. They don't have volunteers that often, or people from outside the school come in. So I love to just brighten up their day and give them something they don't usually get. So that's them reciting their affirmations that Emory actually helped with. Just basic affirmations. I am beautiful, I am black, I am strong. And I hope to go back another day next year. So this is my Senior Impact Project, and I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you. Here you go.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Keon Waller, and my project is called Lending a Helping Hand. And the main goal for my project was basically to help people that didn't have the financial resources to help themselves. And my project, just to help them. And so I partnered up with an organization called Opportunity Housing, where their main goal was basically, so their mission statement is basically to help homeless people, and move them out of homelessness into sustainable housing. So I was able to get 90 pairs of socks, 50 boxes of toothbrushes, 50 boxes of toothpaste, and 56 of deodorant. I achieved this in not a way I usually. Oh, I don't know. So I achieved this not in a way that I have in any other impact project. I achieved this through, I wanted to make it more personable. I wanted to feel like I was doing something. So I created a lawn care business where I would cut my friends and family's lawn, and also on top of the income I get from Krispy Kreme. And I combined both. I combined both of those, and I was able to reach my goal. So the impact I had, I promoted a feeling of happiness and hope. You only get one body, so it's important to upkeep that. That's why most of my donations were hygienic items that you can use. And that feeling of confidence can not only be applied there, but it can inspire other people in that drive and in that community. And my name is Keon Waller, and that's my Impact Project.
Hello, everyone. I am Senior Ambassador Jayla Williams, and this is my Senior Impact Project. Now, before I start, I want to preface this by saying that I was unable to take pictures with any of the patients that I worked with due to HIPAA. My project consisted of me going to a hospital that contained an assisted living facility, and while I was there, I was responsible for taking vitals, helping with bodily hygiene and oral hygiene, assisting nurses in restocking supplies. So the impact that I had on them was I was able to help over 35 patients. I devoted over 44 plus inpatient hours. I helped over 4 units, one of them the high intensive care unit, which was on my first day, which was kind of, it was a lot on the first day. And I was able to assist several floors that were understaffed due to the nursing strikes and understaffing, if you've heard about that. The impact that it had on me was this was a very enriching and personal experience that I was able to help with. It was very hands-on. I learned a lot while I was there, and I was also able to get my CNA certification, so I will be able to use I'll be able to use this in the future for a career. I will continue this work beyond for the rest of my life or until I'm done and retired. And that's my Senior Impact Project. Thank you for your time.
All right, folks. Now, that's just the first half. We're going to give you a quick break here to allow you a chance to stretch your legs. We're going to take a 10-minute break, and we'll be right back with the second half of our ambassadors in their Senior Impact Projects. 10 minutes.
And my favorite thing about this day
Check one, check. Check. Check one, check two. Check one, check two. Check one, check two. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes remaining on your break. 2 minutes. Check one, check one. Hello. Check one, check one. Check one. All right. Check one, check one. Here we go. All right. Let's make our way back to our seats. We've got another half, or you're a little bit beyond half right now, so we're going to get it going here. All right. Y'all, technology is something special. When it works, and when it doesn't, you make your way through it. Thank you all on this side for muscling your way through, even when the videos didn't give you what you thought they would do. Y'all, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. I told you, they Toastmaster certified, so I had no concerns. And the strange thing is, it worked yesterday. So, yeah, it worked in the walkthrough, I promise you. We'll figure it out. Let's go with our second half. We got a lot of more amazing senior impact projects. Looks like our judges are set. Folks are back in their seats, and we'll get started.
Good evening, YBLA family. I am Senior Ambassador Giselle Glover, and this is my Senior Impact Project. So for my Senior Impact Project, I created my own feminine care product initiative called Stop the Shame, period. This name stems from the stigmas that are often surrounded by menstruation. Throughout history, menstrual health have been stigmatized and shamed, and women have been affected by that. So for my impact project, I collected over 3,000 feminine care products, which were pads, pads, panty liners, and feminine wipes, and I donated them to 5 local schools in CMS. They were Elizabeth Traditional Elementary School, J.M. Alexander Middle School, Ranton IB Middle, North Meck High School, and West Charlotte High School. And with these donations, I impacted over 500 female students and staff at these schools. Thank you. I also collaborated with Northwest School of the Arts and Cato Early Middle College's Club Ionia, who donated a lot of products, so I want to thank y'all for that. And I also created or replenished the school's care closet, so if they were without pads, painting liners, and I would produce those or create them if the school didn't have it. Okay. So here are some of the things I learned. I learned more about the dire need for feminine products in CMS. I also learned the importance of spreading awareness on feminine health. I also understood how social media can help spread awareness because the flyer that was shown on the first slide was posted on my Instagram. And then I better learned the importance of networking with community leaders to have a greater impact. But an important fact that I learned throughout this project that I didn't put on here was that CMS no longer provides funding for menstrual health, meaning that teachers and nurses had to provide or go to the stores themselves and buy their own pads. So I put flyers underneath the seats. I have an upcoming drive, a delivery again to these 5 local schools. And if anybody would help monetarily or by donations, that would be greatly appreciated. And here's a video of my impact. So basically, this video showed pictures and videos of what I've done and the deliveries, and I also had a personal testimony from one of the donors and a bunch of my friends saying stop the shame, period. So thank you, and please donate because these schools need it. Thank you.
Wait, which one's the clicker?
Good evening, everyone. I am Senior Ambassador Bryson Waller, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my project, Balling with Bryson. So Balling with Bryson is a soccer camp activity that I ran at 2 schools where I use soccer as a tool to help promote the importance of staying in school and education. I had a personal connection with this because luckily I was able to be raised by 2 amazing parents who always taught me the importance of being a student before you were an athlete. So I wanted to help promote that message. Project description. In my project, I had different drills, whether they were agility ladder, hurdles, or shooting drills, and I made sure I had a message implemented in each one of them drills, whether it was to give your best at whatever you do or give 100% effort at everything that you do. And I use soccer as a tool to help lure those kids in, to open their minds up to the importance of staying in school. I was able to bring light to the importance of education, and I was able to help them. I was able to help students learn the importance of respecting their teachers. Parents, I know you know this more than anyone. Whenever you ask an elementary school kid, "Hey, what do you want to be when you grow up?" I want to hoop. I want to play basketball. I want to play football. I wanted to change them answers from basketball to football to, I want to be a doctor. I want to study law. So, looking back on this presentation, I think that was my biggest impact because I was able to open their mind to outside of athletics and more of an educational. And it impacted me because when I look back, I hate that it took this project for me to reach out and help kids. So, all right. So I hope to continue this in the future. If you don't take anything from what I said, take this. Help promote being a student before you're an athlete.
Good evening and good afternoon, everybody. I am Senior Ambassador Taylor Carroll, and today I present to you the Helping Hands Project. Our motto was sourcing and serving those locally, one community at a time. Before I get started, I want to give you guys a few facts about healthcare and public health. Public health is the study of preventing and promoting healthcare, whether it be physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. We want to promote good health in our community. I use this chart, the social determinants of health, to help identify how I wanted to source the funding that I used for my brochure. I wanted to include the economic stability, the access and affordability of healthcare, your community and neighborhood environment, and a few more. These 5 determinants helped me to analyze and identify the kinds of healthcare services I wanted to include in my project. Next, I made a 4-step plan. The plan. I knew I wanted to do something that would affect the community and affect those needing public health services. Next, the execution. I would source Mr. Merritt McCulley, the Executive Director of Mayfield Memorial CDC. Together, him and his company helped me to create not only a healthcare brochure, but a healthcare event to bring to the community of Hidden Valley. Next, the outcome. Everybody loved the healthcare fair. Everyone was amazing and they were eager to come. Everyone had lots of questions and we were all there for the benefit of each other. And the success. From this project, I learned that it is very important to advocate for public health. This is something we need more in 2023. As a society and as a nation, we are lacking. I wanted to bring these sources from different doctors, different dentists, childcare, and mental health services to effectively impact us as a whole. Here are a few words of wisdom and statements from Mr. Merritt McCulley and Dr. Jason L. Harding, along with a few pictures. During the break, I put a few of my brochures in each of the seats. If you guys would take a moment to look at them, I would greatly appreciate it. In these healthcare brochures, I included a few services: dental, mental, childcare, and physical health as well. These also include some of the services along with Mayfield Memorial's and YBLA's testimony and why it is important for us to serve in the community. If you click the pictures and more, you will see a digital copy of my brochure as well. Although Dr. Jason L. Harding and his team at Amenity Medical Care wasn't physically there, they were able to help source and fund all these brochures that I have brought for you guys today. Thank you, Mr. Merritt, and thank you everyone who came to support me at my healthcare fair. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I am Senior Ambassador Tyra Washington, and I hope your day is going really well so far. I want you to take a moment to think. Have you or anyone you know ever experienced mistrust with a healthcare provider? Many members of my family have, and if you can relate, I'm here to share my YBLA Impact Project, Spread the Health, regarding the issues with our U.S. healthcare system. Okay. The main issue with our healthcare system are the disparities within it. And simply put, a healthcare disparity is any gap in the quality of treatment that one may receive, influenced by factors such as socioeconomic status, race, or even education level. And here in the US, many Black people and other people of color receive poor treatment at a disproportionate rate compared to their white counterparts. So with my passion for healthcare and also my strong connection to this issue, I decided to host a Zoom event where people in the community could one-on-one, face-to-face, communicate with actual physicians. So I brought on a physical therapist and a urologist and asked guiding questions such as, do you think medical school taught you how to appropriately treat people that differ from you? I wanted to see if the root cause was a systematic issue, such as how we train our doctors, or more of an individual mindset. And then in return, participants in the Zoom were able to ask their own questions and concerns. So for my impact, I had about 15 participants on the Zoom, other than the physicians, and 80% of them were people of color, my target audience, so I was very proud of that. 100% of the participants did say their questions were fully answered, and both physicians agreed that the seminar was a great way to spark a conversation about such an important topic. And then finally, here are 2 pictures from my Zoom. There weren't much other pictures I could have, but the major takeaway that we had was that education is key. I was really concerned about how people like me, interested in medicine but not yet having a direct influence in the field yet, could make a change on such a widespread issue. And what they said was that we can have more talks like this, more discussions, saying how we're all different and also how to appropriately treat those differences so we can build a better medical realm for the future of our nation. Thank you all for listening.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Raya Autry. I am currently a senior at Coxmo High School, and my impact project, I decided to name the Daily Charger. So a little bit of background before I change the slide. I am going to college to major in electronic media and broadcasting, and my goal is to become either an investigative reporter or to become a sports reporter because I love football. So I attend what is known as a 4A school, and it is a school where the students are middle class, upper middle class, so we have a lot of students. We have approximately 1,800 when this presentation was made, but Coxmo High School is ever growing, ever changing, and we now have around or just over 1,900 students in our school. So 84 videos were made, and I had this goal that no matter what I did, I wanted to get out the most information in a clear, concise, and unbiased manner. And while educating people at my school about the different events going on at school, we also had segments like entertainment. And we did things like Hot Take Tuesday. And for those of you who don't know what a hot take is, it is an unpopular opinion that people will yell at you about. What we had was actually 84 videos when we averaged over 100 views a day. The impact was that we had, I want to say, 500 students fill out a Google form that I created. Very simple, maybe 10 questions max. And we asked them to rank their satisfaction with how school events are communicated through the announcements and how informed they felt. As you can see, the rating was 1 through 5, with blue being 1, red being 2, orange being 3, green being 4, and purple being 5, the highest. Now, what color don't you see up there? Blue, because everyone loved the announcements. Everyone felt like, you know, they were more educated and ready to start their day, and that was my main goal. So the feedback that we garnered the most were positive results, with some students saying, thank you for making this year awesome. They did well at creating a pretty engaging news segment and informing me about school activities. Now, on your left, you will see 5 or 6 words, and what we did was we asked students to give us the top 3 words that you would use to describe the announcements. We got funny and fun, informative, engaging, interesting, welcoming, and entertaining. And that was our goal. And when I say our goal, it was me and 7 other students, and that was it. So thank you all for listening. This was my Senior Impact Project.
Good evening, everyone. I am Antonio Desravines, and it is truly a pleasure to be here with you all today. During the summer of 2022, I had the pleasure of going on a missions trip with YBLA to Jamaica. And while the entire trip was a blessing, one moment stuck out to me more than anything else. And that was being able to build a computer lab in the church. By being able to do this, I realized that my love for technology could not both impact myself, but others. And I wanted to be able to emulate that for my senior impact project, which leads me to my project 3D. So for my project, I collected 11 devices and delivered them to Benin, which is a country in West Africa. The reason I chose Benin is because descendants of Benin have actually went to a country which is Haiti, and all four of my grandparents were born and raised there. So for my project, I want to be able to target my heritage as well. The two main men I was able to collaborate with were Pastor Pierre-Louis and Mr. Agbona. Mr. Pierre-Louis has a computer science degree, and although he currently resides in Florida, he has been to Benin before. And Mr. Agbona lives in Benin, so not only was he able to receive the devices that I delivered, he will also hold classes to ensure that they are used to their potential. My three main points of impact were to develop technological availability in Benin. Since Benin is still a developing country, they do not have a lot of technology compared to what we have here in the United States, which of course provided a unique opportunity for the people that the classes will be held for. And I also wanted to help the youth find their spark through technology. I know my love for technology started at a very young age, so I want to be able to help the youth of Benin find that spark as well. The things I learned from my project are to use your passion to help others. One of the reasons I feel like this project went so well for me is because I was able to use my passion for technology to help the people of Benin. Another thing I learned was to never hesitate to ask for help. The people that helped me throughout this project, I'll definitely never forget their impact and our impact we were able to make as well. And my last thing was to never kind of put yourself down. At first, I only wanted to collect used devices to kind of add to the practicality of the project. But I figured that if I didn't have the money to spend on devices, I could find someone else that did. So I contacted our CEO of YBLA, Mr. John Martin, and he was able to donate me 4 never-before-used Fire tablets. So those went to Benin as well. And once again, I just want to thank all my collaborators, and I hope that I can continue to make impacts like this both in college and in my future career. Thank you.
Hi, how's everyone doing? Okay, awesome. So I am Sydney Aldred. I am a senior ambassador for YBLA, and this is my senior impact project, Quesadillas from the Heart. So for Quesadillas from the Heart, I worked with Grassroots, a crisis intervention center, and this center works with people who have experienced domestic abuse, mental health issues, and also experienced homelessness. And I created a nutritional meal for them, some quesadillas, and I know that when I'm feeling down, I can always look to make a quesadilla at home. Okay, so about my project, I made quesadillas for over 70 people, and I did this again with the Grassroots Crisis Intervention Center, and I made a total of maybe at least 90 quesadillas. There's so many, I lost count, and I made different kinds. I made both chicken and veggie quesadillas, and I also made a side of salad, and I also had condiments like the salad dressing, and I also had salsa and sour cream for the quesadillas. And then I also made encouraging notes for the people at the intervention center, because I know that they probably feel as if nobody loves them, nobody cares for them, but by making this meal, I know that they were able to feel the love, as it was a home-cooked meal made from the heart. And I saved the Grassroots Crisis Intervention Center at least $200. Here's a video. I don't know if it's gonna play. Maybe. It's okay. It's just a time lapse of me making the quesadillas and also delivering them to the Crisis Intervention Center.
Welcome to my video voiceover. So these are the ingredients I had specific family members bring from their most recent shopping trips. Here you see me cutting some onions, and I'll be cutting some peppers and putting together different ingredients. It did take a lot of time because there was a lot of quesadillas made, but in the end, it was so worth it. The place we did drop it off, Grassroots, it's a crisis intervention center, and we had to stop recording at a certain point to respect the privacy of the people inside. But they were very thankful, especially with the little notes that I left them. And this is my video voiceover. Yay, the video worked. The video worked. Okay, so what I learned is that Grassroots Crisis Intervention Center is one of the main crisis intervention centers in Howard County, Maryland. And so it's actually right next to my school, so it's very convenient, and a lot of students go there to help volunteer as well. I also learned about meal preparation, being organized, and making sure I had everything where it was supposed to be, and making sure that I separated the chicken to the veggie quesadillas. And then time management. The quesadillas did take a long time since there were so many being made. And so I was tired, it was late at night, and I was ready to do my homework and get moving to the next day. But I was able to make, like I said before, at least 90 quesadillas. And then making an impact, I realized that this was good for me because knowing that on a bad day, making quesadillas is something that I love, I'm sharing that with others and giving them a home-cooked meal from my heart. Thank you. This is my Senior Impact Project.
Great job, Sydney. Now, you might be wondering, what is an important event to a senior? Now, you might think graduation, which it is, but another important event is prom. And that's why I came with Prom Dreammaker. With this presentation, description of it, I want to find different ways that I can help people, especially kids my age. With this presentation, I decided, why not help them with prom? Some kids don't have the time or the money to go to prom, or they can't have the means to get it. So with this, I signed up to volunteer with a company called Hungry Hearts, Inc. in Clayton County. They were servicing kids in the Clayton and Henry area where I live. With this presentation, I started asking people, collecting dresses for kids, girls my age. Also, with this presentation, I spread the word on Instagram, Facebook, even asking my friends and family, and also classmates to spread it with them. With this giveaway, I helped 65 youth, 45 female, and 20 male, sorry. With this presentation, some of the girls came up to me and told me they were grateful. Thankful that finally a giveaway that they were able to actually go to prom and actually able to celebrate this one last event that they did before graduation. And here are some of the pictures from the giveaway. At the bottom, you'll see a girl in a white dress. Her name is Jasmine. She goes to Mount Zion High School, where the event was held. And she was telling me that she was so thankful that we came up with this event. And thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am Senior Ambassador Frances Wilkinson, and we are going too fast. I was given the opportunity to go to Sierra Leone in March, and I decided that I wanted to make a global impact for my senior project, and that is the basis of my project, Yes I Can, which, yes they can, there we go. So, before I went on my trip, a lot of people told me, like, have paper copies of everything. And I was like, why? And then when I got there, I realized how little access to electricity I was going to have. So in Sierra Leone, only 23% of the population have working electricity, and only 6% of people do in rural areas like Baiwala, which is the village that I spent most of my time in. Sierra Leone has around 13 hours of sunlight per day, and because of this, people have began using solar energy to try and generate their own power that's more reliable and localized. So my objective was to build awareness of solar energy by teaching female students in a school at Baiwala about solar energy and engineering. And after that, I had them put their knowledge into action by having them build their own solar-powered cars like the one you can see at the bottom here. Many girls in Biwala don't pursue careers in STEM because it's not something that's popularized and it's not something that's seen as traditional or a norm. And STEM provided me with a lot of confidence in my childhood, so I wanted to implement that in the community there. So the impact of my project, the girls were able to see that they were capable of doing STEM after they built their solar-powered cars. They got to see I have the skills to do this and I have the knowledge to do this. They were able to see me, another black girl, doing STEM, which is something that they're not used to. And they're now knowledgeable of how solar power can help them in their village and how they can use it to improve their quality of life. I also got to meet so many kind young girls, and I am staying in contact with them already and just checking up on them with some people that I know in Biwala, and I plan to keep on doing this. So some lessons that I learned that education here we take for granted. Education is so important over there because it's the key to these girls' independence. It can help them break out of these traditional roles that they're already put in from birth, and it gives them the power to control their futures. The group in the middle, they all came up to me after the lesson and told me that they wanted to go to college and that they wanted to pursue higher education, and that almost made me cry. I learned, especially from that moment, that I have the power to influence the next generation and that I have power to improve the quality of life of others by making a difference by just sharing my passions. And I learned that I'm very fortunate to have a support system of my family and my friends and teachers in YBLA to push me to continue my educational goals. So thank you all for listening to my presentation.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Cameron Perry, Senior Ambassador, and this is my project, Cam's Care Bags. So for my project, I created care bags to deliver to the Relatives Youth Crisis Center located here in Charlotte, North Carolina. So the Relatives Youth Crisis Center is essentially a safe haven home for children ages 7 to 17 who can stay to help get resources for like mental illnesses, homelessness, abuse, things of those sort. So accumulating my donations, I created a Amazon registry and solicited my family and friends to donate items. And overall, I collected 500 individual items and packaged 60 self-care bags. Thank you. So for my service, I hand-delivered 10 of the bags to the smaller location, which is located on East Boulevard in Charlotte, North Carolina, and 50 of the other bags went to their larger location in Matthews. And the bags contain things like fidget toys, face masks, lip masks, bracelets, necklaces, hair care products, and just things of those sort. And then my source of inspiration, so mental health is something that's really important to me, being that I've struggled with it before. And also in my career path, I want to be a psychologist or a psychiatrist and open my own clinical practice. Okay, so these are some pictures. On the far left side are the packages that I received. The next picture are the pictures of me like baggaging the care bags. The next one are the care bags. And the next one is self-written notes that I wrote to every child or like had for every bag. Just inspirational quotes, things of that sort. And the next picture is the outside of the relatives. Okay, so my impact / what I learned. So it was a really humbling experience knowing that I'm working with children who have struggled, and it really made me realize how fortunate I am to have what I have and the community that I have. And I also realized that I can make an impact in someone's life by doing simple things. And it's also a satisfying feeling knowing that I'm impacting somebody with something that I'm passionate about. So that was my impact project. Thank you.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Logan Neal, and I attend Philip O. Berry Academy of Technology. and my senior impact project is titled Windows and Mirrors for Minorities in Medicine. As a future anesthesiologist, it's been a passion of mine to impact others through healthcare, but also create representation for those who look like me in this field as well. My impact project. After searching far and wide, I decided to impact my own high school, Philip Berry Academy of Technology, because we have a minority percentage of 96%. I didn't realize that until I researched different schools to impact during this project. I realized that I can impact my own community and bring in people who can talk to the students of Philip Berry and influence them to be a part of healthcare and see themselves in that field. So, setting out on this journey, I decided to partner with Health Occupation Students of America, which is a club at my school. And I decided to lean on my best friend, Giselle Glover, and she connected with me with Dr. Vernon Mackey. Dr. Vernon Mackey is an oncologist in Charlotte, North Carolina, and he's a black male who came and spoke to us about the harsh realities of healthcare. Though you may not see yourself in this field, and it's very far and wide, few far and wide, it is important to create a space where others can be impacted and we can create diversity in this field. I realized through speaking with Dr. Vernon Mackey and bringing other students that look like me and giving them the opportunity to ask him questions, I realized that it's not that students don't have the drive to do these things, it's the lack of resources and the lack of seeing themselves in these fields. I realized that to be the change we want to see in the world, we have to connect with others and bring in people who look like us in the positions we want to be in. Seeing yourself is just as important as knowing what to do. So, for my senior impact project, I was able to impact those of my school, but also realize that this is something that I'm very passionate about and something I want to carry out in my future. Instead of just doing it once, I want to be able to do it every year on a wider scale. Thank you guys for listening.
Good evening, everyone. I am Senior YBLA Ambassador Zakai Rochelle from Douglasville, Georgia, and I am so excited to share my YBLA Senior Impact Project titled The Confidence Code. So back in November of 2022, I released my book, Becoming a CEO of Self-Confidence, to inspire my generation and the next to overcome doubt, fear, and insecurity, and also, furthermore, develop habits and routines such as planning, journaling, and using affirmations to do so. And with my mission, I realized that in order for me to get this out, my number one continuous goal with my book is to get this in the hands of as many teens and preteens as possible. And even if they do not purchase the book, I want them to know that there's a resource that is available for them to do so. So that covers what I was able to do. How I was able to do it, I partnered with schools in the Douglas County school system, such as my own, and another school, Turner Middle School, and the community of Douglas County, so other local entrepreneurs where I was able to attend their events and workshops and panels, and I was also able to partner with the Douglas County Library, and I was able to facilitate 5 workshops and events to promote my book and to also just share the knowledge about the benefits of becoming a CEO of self-confidence, meaning how to take charge of what you control, what fears you may have, and how to control them. And I was targeting this generation of leaders and entrepreneurs and the next, so grades 6 through 12, what I was able to work with. And this started in March, but it has not stopped. This is something that I am continuously doing through the summer. So the impact. Here are a few notes that I received from students at Turner Middle School, and the impact included a token of inspiration. I was also able to share these resources to help them reach their potential, and I was also able to introduce them to a community of students, of like-minded students that also want to be better, and bringing light to creating spaces in the educational system for conversations, because I believe that confidence starts in the classrooms, being confident enough to say the wrong answer, being confident enough to ask for help, being confident enough to raise your hand and ask questions. And also representation in the community. My former high school, I just graduated. There has been a stigma surrounding the students that may attend there, so I wanted to serve as representation as someone who is successful and still a product of that environment. So here's a quote from my book and also in my business: "Your confidence is the key to living life fearlessly and to the fullest." And here are some of my events that I was able to take part of and impact my community with. On the top left side for you all, I was able to speak. I was featured as a literary artist at this event, and the mayor of Douglasville, Rochelle Robinson, was there, and a lot of members of the Board of Education were there. So I was able to talk about my book and also bring it to their attention that this is important to create spaces, again, in the educational system. That's when I was at Turner Middle School, and I had the pleasure to talk to plenty of students there. And this workshop that I attended for young ladies, and I was also able to do some book talks at the Douglas County Library. Thank you. And if you have somebody in your life or yourself, it's never too late to invest in yourself and become a better you. You are able to purchase my book, Becoming a CEO of Self-Confidence. You're able to look it up on Google, and you are able to purchase it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Walmart. Thank you for your time and attention. Shameless plug.
Good evening, everyone. I am Senior Ambassador Lester Threet, and I will be presenting today my project, A Help in Society, a senior ambassador helping his community. Now, I was a bit fashionably late today, but that is because I want to give a shout out to my mom, who just got her doctorate PhD today. All right, back to my project. So, I partnered with Cornerfield Market Food Pantry, and Cornerfield Market is a food distribution center that is centered around bringing families food, supplies, support, and prayer. And that is actually part of my church, and I just thought, I was already volunteering there for about 3 years, so I thought that would be a good idea to do my impact project on that. And while I was there, I got to stock shelves, pass out items and sort them, collect carts, and bring some carts out to the guests themselves. Now for my impact. I would say we definitely helped around more than 500 people, because each time we were open, we definitely had an average around 80 people. And most of the people I'm working with are retired, so I was around the youngest person there for a good while. And so I definitely got to bring a different energy there. And I got to build personal connections with some of the people that I brought their carts to their cars and things like that. And here I have a 40-second video. Let me see, 1 second. Oh, okay. How do you play it? Here I have a 40-second video that is going to describe my journey. It has a bunch of pictures, and it is going to show the pillars of IBO that my service acted and embodied. If it'll play. May someone press play on a video? No? Okay. Well, if anybody would like to join me, I will continue serving there as I go throughout life, because I'll be pretty close to my area. And I left Ms. Janice's email on the bottom right corner if anybody would like to join me, and let me or her know. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I am Senior Ambassador Tori Jarrett, and I am so excited to be sharing with you my Senior Impact Project, Beauty and Brains, an Introduction to Cosmetic Chemistry class for young girls. Now, when we were first presented with this opportunity to bring something great to our communities, I instantly knew I wanted to focus on STEM. Prior to my engagement with engineering, you could not pay me to consider science something fun nor interesting. And now, even in the STEM community, only 5% of the workforce is comprised of women of color. And this is a disparity that I am passionate about shrinking. And doing that starts with the young minds. However, if you know me, you know I do not like kids. If there is any way possible to get out of being around kids, I will take it. But as we have learned in YBLA, to grow, we have to become comfortable with being uncomfortable, which is why I decided to hold this class for young women of color in my community, ages 7 to 12. Now, for a 3-hour class at our community rec center, I brought 15 girls together to show them how to make bath bombs, lip balm, perfume, and other self-care necessities. In doing this, I showed them that not only is science in what we use every day, but that they can harness science to create things that they love. When we first started this project, a bunch of the girls thought this was going to be some boring presentation. But by the end, they were all jumping for joy and asking me when's the next time they could have a class with me. Even now, some of these girls still reach out and tell me about the concoctions that they create in their parents' sinks that they have no idea about. These are the next women you're going to be seeing working for Fenty Beauty, as well as taking bed and bath truly beyond. Even parents, Now, even parents like Dr. Mala Freeman Kwaku reached out to me to tell me just how much their daughter enjoyed the presentation and how much fun and joy their daughters left their rec center with. Now, I have created a 30-second video to show you what happened within those 3 hours.
My favorite thing was making the perfume and the bath.
Thank you all so much for listening to my presentation. As I plan for the next giving of this event, please consider signing your daughter up or even donating to help me gather the necessary supplies. Together, we can make a true difference. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Senior Ambassador Kayla Alexander, and my Senior Impact Project is titled I See Me. I See Me is an initiative I created that primarily focuses on gaining representation for people of color, but specifically African Americans within books. If anyone knows me, they know I love reading. I am the biggest book nerd. So from experience, I can tell you that representation within books is extremely important. According to Brookings Institution, there are more people of color than whites under the age of 15, but nearly 71% of books being published for children and young adults are about white children, talking bears, monsters, and more. When you couple all of that information with the fact that critical race theory is being attacked and there are books being banned with characters that look and talk just like us, I believe that there's never been a time more needed for this project. So I asked all of my donors to donate books either written by Black authors or books that had Black main characters. And something that I learned while doing this project was that that was a task that a lot of people could not do or struggled with. I found that when I was asking for these books, a lot of them said, oh, I don't have it, but I'll pass it along to the next person. So what I learned is that we need to be more cognizant of who we're supporting. We need to buy more books by Black authors, more books that have characters that look like us, because if they're banning our books within the school system, we have to make sure that we're getting that from somewhere else. So I was able to collect 50 books, and I donated them to Alfred Street Baptist Church's tutorial ministry, which is a tutoring ministry, and then an organization titled I Am Beautiful Because in DC that primarily works with girls and women who are victims of domestic violence. And most importantly, Alfred Street was very close and near and dear to my heart because they've been working with me and my siblings ever since we were younger. So it was amazing to be able to pour into them the same way that they've poured into me. So as I said earlier, I noticed a lot of my donors that I wanted to get donations from were not able to participate. So instead, I asked them for quotes as to why representation is important, and these are some of their answers. I got a lot, and I was very happy to see that we all understood the importance of representation, and that is my project. Thank you.
All right. Yo, I'm blown away. I'm blown away from, yeah, give them another round of applause for both groups. Amazing, amazing. Great impact locally in your community, even international impact. So that's what YBL is about when we start talking about leadership, service, and education. You all are representing that. Now, I don't know how we're going to top this, but we will do that tomorrow morning at Scholar Day, right? Yeah, I'm excited about it. So, hey, here are the next steps. So the judges are finishing their tallies. We're going to get this. Listen, y'all realize this is attached to a scholarship. Mackenzie say, we know. So 4 of these senior ambassadors will get, how much is that? $2,500, 2,500. No, I thought you heard you say 25,000. No, wait a minute. 2,500. 25 for the top 4. So judges, look at those scores. Make sure you get those right. They're going to be looking at y'all, not me, on tomorrow when we get that at Scholar Day. Listen, I'm excited because tomorrow, yo, it's Scholar Day. These young ambassadors are going to share with us how much money they've earned in scholarship. I'm going to go ahead and get a secret away. We realize y'all broke the record, right? This is the group that has broke. It's a new record set for scholarships earned. But I won't tell y'all what that number is until tomorrow. And they'll also share with us what schools they'll be attending in the fall and how they're going to impact the world. I'm excited about that already. So we want you all to join us. Join us live streaming. Folks, you're welcome. Parents, come on back in here as we'll have. And we're also celebrating some college graduates. They'll be moving into our young professionals organization. You know, so this thing doesn't stop at high school. We go on into college, Black Talent Pipeline, and into our young professionals. So before we leave, I do have our CEO and our co-founders in the building, so come on up. I'd be remiss. Come on, John and Tammy Martin, up front. This would not be possible if not for them. I think back in the days of their living room and talking with John, and brother, this is it. This is what you were talking about years ago, so we are there. So I want to turn the mic over to you and Tammy.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah. Well, thank you. First, I want to give a big round of applause to the parents. Because without you, there would be no them, right? And of course, our senior ambassadors. That's right. So excited for y'all. I thought I was not going to say anything, but I enjoyed just sitting back here listening to all of your heart, your passion, what you put into your projects. It always warms our heart because you're actually doing something for others. And that's something, you know, we just don't see that much, especially in young Black men and women. So it's always wonderful to see you guys make a positive impact on somebody else's life, because I tell you, there is no better joy than to see someone else happier because of your effort. And we are definitely a testament to that, because we can just sit back and we feel complete joy that YBLA has produced this. So we just thank God every day for the blessings that he has given us, and then what we're pouring, our team is pouring into you guys, because it definitely is humbling.
Awesome. So first of all, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to the judges. So thank you guys, one, for taking time out of your day to come join us, to spend some time with us, definitely. We know that we have given you the hardest job in the building. You guys now have the opportunity to give away scholarships by the selections that you have. So we definitely appreciate it, and definitely very much appreciated for that. So one of the things I always love to think about, I tell our staff this every time I get a chance, is not very often do you have the opportunity to shape the future. So that's what we get to do. We actually get to shape the future. These young men and women that are now talking about service, did you notice how many times they talked about, I want to continue this, right? That's our whole goal in life. We'll talk about scholarships tomorrow. Those are amazing. We love that. But really our whole purpose in life is to develop young people that are going to make a positive impact in our community. They're going to drive change. So our future is determined and dependent on the work that you guys are doing. So thank you for the work that you guys have put in already. Definitely appreciate it. So I will say, continue your projects, right? If it's not that project, continue on doing something else. A life well lived is something where you get to impact other people. You feel much better as you go out. Yeah, you can do stuff for yourself, but doing stuff for others, that's what we hope to teach you throughout these 2 years. Clearly, you guys have learned it through your projects. The projects were amazing, so we're definitely appreciative of that. Just think about all the people that we impacted, you guys, right? So you probably had hundreds, thousands of folks that you guys had the opportunity to collectively impact. And there's not a lot of places that get to do that. So I'm excited about that, so definitely continue. Let's give them one more round of applause. Awesome. So my last thought before I leave, I would be remiss without saying, if today is your birthday, please stand up. Woo! Woo! All right. Keep standing. Keep standing. Keep standing. Keep standing. Oh, yeah. All right, we're going to go through a very slow round of happy birthday. We're going to try to drag this out as long as we can because we know how emotionally draining this is going to be. Yeah, come on up here, Mackenzie. Come on up. Come on up here. Sweet. All right, so I'm going to start it off with a happy birthday. We're just going to keep rolling on for about 20 minutes. We're going to go on as long as possible. She's going to start sweating. She might even pass out up here. So let's go one little quick round. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Happy birthday, dear Mackenzie Rudd. Happy birthday to you. Woo! Awesome, awesome, awesome. Great job. Come on. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. I'm going to give that back to head coach Christopher Land, the greatest and the latest. LAND. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Indeed. Thank you, John. Thank you, Tammy. Listen, parents, we're going to invite you to share some time, and hopefully John and Tammy will step out in the courtyard. We're going to dismiss and have you to go to the courtyard because we need to set up and do a quick run-through or walk-through for what we're doing tomorrow to make sure we're all in our places and all comfortable with what we have. So we thank you for sharing time with us today. This has been an absolutely amazing event with lots of impact across the world. Before we exit, let's give them one more round of applause for our seniors. And let's see if we can get it together. As we say at YBLA, we build leaders. Thank you, everyone.